Good morning. This is Craig Jameson coming to you again from Sales Results LLC in Boise, Idaho. And this morning I want to take a little time and kind of discuss what I consider to be CRM 101, kind of basics of CRM. But we're going to talk about how we would basically organize and manage our contacts, and for that matter, our activity using Nimble's social CRM. So let's get started here. The screen that I'm looking at now is my main contact records screen. One quick thing about Nimble looks at people and they look at companies, and together those form your contacts. So if you've got a person and a company, that would be two contacts. So what I'm looking at here right now, as you can look over here, is contacts that have been recently viewed. I can look at just people, I can look at companies, I can also look at recently added. Typically you'd probably find yourself in the recently viewed screen. And the reason for that is quite often, you may be working with a series of contacts during the morning. Maybe you're making follow-up calls, whatever, and maybe there's callbacks that are involved. So Nimble takes those that you're working with right now and it brings them up to one screen for easy access, which I think is a really nice feature. But Nimble also makes extensive use of what they call tags. So I can tag any contact record, and this is a way of organizing my contacts. So for example, I happen to run business-to-business networking groups, so I have a tag that I've created here called Networks, and if I click on that tag, it's going to call up all of my members that I have within the Nimble Social CRM. So it makes it easy to review that particular grouping, but you can create tags. For that matter, you can create tags on the fly, and you can even use multiple tags. So if you want to drill down a little bit closer, and if you want somebody that you want to look at only contact records that meet the criteria of having tag A plus tag B, you can do that also. So what are some of the other things that you can do with tags? Well, I'm just going to come back to the recently viewed section here. Let's say you want to tag all your existing customers. Maybe you want to tag all your existing prospects, maybe suspects. Maybe you want to tag vendors, for that matter. Maybe you want to keep track of your competitors and you want to tag competitors. So there's all different ways you can do this, but one of the key things in terms of building relationships and particularly getting additional business and referrals from your existing contacts is by keeping in touch with them. I saw some statistics just recently that said that 68% of your existing clients left you because they felt like they were not appreciated, or frankly they were ignored. It wasn't a problem with your service, it wasn't a problem with your product, it wasn't necessarily price. It was 68% said, hey, they never hear from you, they don't feel that they're valuable. So certainly keeping in mind, and you probably heard the old phrase, it's 10 times more expensive to get a new client than it is to maintain an existing one. We want to keep in regular touch with those people that are important to us. So here's a simplistic view of it also. We could say that we have A customers, and these are people that we do a lot of business with and people that we do repeat business with. We also have B customers. Maybe these are still good customers. Maybe they have the potential to move into the A classification. And then we have C customers. And C customers might be, for example, somebody new that's come on board and we really don't know where we are with them yet. And then we also have D customers, and D stands for delete, give them to somebody else. So, but your best customers aren't even necessarily, and keep this in mind, they're not even necessarily the people that buy the most from you. Your best customers might be your best ambassadors. These might be the people that are so enamored with you, your company, with your service, that they're telling other people about it all the time. So they are providing you with the best referrals. So certainly we want to nurture those kind of relationships. And how can we do that? Well, we can go through our contact list and we can take a good hard look at it, because not everybody can be an A customer and certainly not everybody's a D customer. But let's say we want to identify some of those A customers, and then we want to be able to easily access those so we can give them the best possible service. I'm going to do this really easy here. I'm going to create a tag, and I'm just going to tag some people here on my main screen here. I'm going to go ahead here, I'm going to tag Scott, I'm going to tag Chris, I'm going to tag Doug. You know, incidentally, it's kind of interesting because a lot of the people that, you know, I work with regularly here, of course, are on my most viewed screen. And we'll tag Stan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to say I want to add tags to these people. And I'm going to create a tag and say these are my A customers. Now, incidentally, if I already had a tag created, once I start typing in that tag name, it will come up with tags that match what I'm typing in. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add that. So now what I've done, I'll go ahead and close this. I look over here and I have created a tag, shown here in my tag records, or my tag widget here. And I have also tagged 7 contacts here. So now if I just want to look at my A contacts, just click the tag A and look, everybody that I tagged as an A contact is up here. So these are people that I want to pay special attention to. So now let's go in here and let's take a look at a contact record. So we'll take a look at Brett here. Now Brett happens to be my account manager over at Nimble, so Brett and I talk quite a bit here. So first of all, as I look at his contact record here, I can see the tags that he's here. He has the A tag. Once again, if he had multiple tags, those multiple tags would show up here. Looking at his record, if this is the first time looking at a Nimble contact record, here is the real value. Here in what we call the messaging section, which is right in here. So I'm looking at all, I can look at messages, I can also look at activities. One of the things that I want a CRM for is I want some place that aggregates all my communications with this particular contact. Not only my communications, but also tasks, activities, and events. And we'll talk a little bit more about activities and tasks here in a minute. But what Nimble does is it does a lot of that for me automatically. Any email exchanges that I have with Brett are automatically added to his contact record. So we got that going for us. That's nothing different than just about any CRM, true CRM that you're looking at. Because I want to keep track of what's gone on. When I go back into his record, I want to be able to review it and see where we were and where we're going and all of that kind of information. But Nimble, being a social CRM, has carried that even a step further, because nowadays we're not only communicating via email or the phone or mail or whatever it might be, we're also talking on the social networks. And that means we're talking on Twitter, we're talking on Facebook, we're talking on LinkedIn. And Nimble aggregates all of those conversations into the contact record. So as I look at Brett's record here, I can see a task. We'll talk more about that in a second here. I can see a direct message that we exchanged over on via Twitter. So Twitter is going to track my direct messages, also my @ messages, reply, mention, whatever you want to call them. Retweets would certainly fall under that. It's also going to track, well, here is an event. If we had conversations on Facebook, direct messaging on Facebook, it would track that as well as on LinkedIn. So I have all this information at my fingertips, which is just certainly invaluable. But here's, part of the challenge with a CRM. CRM, garbage in, garbage out. If you want to have good records, if you want to be able to use those to increase your revenues, to build stronger relationships, you have to keep accurate records. Traditionally, this has been a problem for a lot of salespeople because salespeople don't like to keep records. So I think Nimble's done an excellent job on making it easy to do, making it quick, and making it, frankly, I think it's a little bit fun. So what you need to do is you certainly need to get in the habit of recording whatever kind of activity. So here I placed a phone call to Brett, and I talked to him about something, and I logged that activity. Now let's see, I'm just going to show you how easy that is. I'm going to say log an activity, sent Brett. Typing isn't my strong suit. Info regarding product X. If I wanted to do a description, I could do that. I can just come in here and I can go ahead and save. So now I have a record of that, okay? But then, one of the things that goes on here, especially if we want to be in contact with people multiple times. Now, as a salesperson, let's say I'm building a relationship. Maybe this is an account that I'm trying to break into, whatever it may be. If I call them up every month and say, "Are you ready to buy yet?" That gets old pretty quickly. So what do you want to mix it up? Obviously, as I like to say, you've got a lot of arrows in your quiver. So what do I mean by arrows? You've got a lot of weapons. I mean, there's phone calls, there's emails, there's send a personalized note, there's drop by and just say hi. I mean, you could send them something of value, you could take them donuts, you could do whatever. But if you get into the habit of whenever you log an activity, like I did now, I want to set the next activity ahead of time, and I want to be reminded of that, and that's through adding tasks. So in some CRMs I've seen, they say, what's a recall date? Well, this is Nimble's version of a recall date. I'm going to add a task. I'm going to say, drop by Brett's and bring donuts. And the due date is, well, we're going to go a specific date and time, and we're going to say we're going to do that next month. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say I'm going to do that on July 12th. Now, we can also set up tags when we do tasks. Now, so we have tags to organize our contact records. We also have tags to organize our tasks, and you'll see what this is. So I'm going to create a task, a tag for a task that's I'm just going to call it a DB, drop by, okay? And I'm going to save that, okay? So now I've registered my activity. Here's my history. Sent Brett info regarding product X, placed a phone call. This is my history. These are my pending items, okay? So the pending item is drop by and bring Brett donuts. So now let's go in here. We're going to go to another tab on Nimble, and we're going to go over to our activities tab. And these are activities that are past due. See, I need to get on this. These are some that are due tomorrow. This is also another view of activities, is also another view of my calendar. But now let's see, I want to only see, well, who am I supposed to drop by? So I'm going to show activities that are assigned to me, and I'm going to show them with the tags drop by, and boom. Here it says that on July 12th at 8:51, of course this is just really for my purposes here, drop by Brett and bring donuts. Okay, isn't that fabulous? So now let's say I'm going to be making a donut run. Okay, I can have multiple tasks, or even it's a drop by. It isn't necessarily donuts for everybody, but I want to make the best use of my time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to group all these together, and so now here's all the drop bys I need to make for the week, and I just call up that, and boom, and I'm ready to go. So that's just great organizational skills. So once again then, once I've completed that, I can show that completed here, or I can come over back to my screen here, and I can say check, yep, that's done. Okay, that now becomes part of my my history. It's a completed task, and now what do I want to do? I've logged the activity that I've completed that. Now what I want to do is I want to set my next task. And I'm going to say send a personalized note. And I want to do that next week, and I'm going to say this tag is PN for personalized note, and I'm going to save that. So once again, I'm just going to come back here to show you how that worked out here. I'm going to come over to my activity screen, and now I just want to see activities that have been tagged with personalized note. And there we go. So I hope that gives you a little bit of idea of some of the best practices for working with a CRM and how easy it is to be able to go in there and not only organize your contacts, but also organize your activities and your tasks. And get in there and play with it and make extensive use of the tags, because the tags are very, very powerful. So once again, thank you for sitting in. Craig out.